Bring in Republican Congressman Tim Burchett of Tennessee, who we heard moments ago in that clip from CNN talking about the pardons here. Sir, thank you very much for coming on the program. Appreciate it. What do you think I'm getting wrong here?
Well, you're not. You have these violent offenders, and Frank, sorry, I'm getting a call. It's supposed to be blocked. You have violent offenders that should be charged, and there's no question. I mean, if you lay a hand on an officer, but I think what you have to draw into this conclusion is the fact that some of these people were never even saw their day in court yet due to they were charged with a federal crime. They were sitting in a jail cell and they had never received due process. Again, totally different from the George Floyd situation. Those folks have done their time, and most of them apparently have already gotten out if they received what you said, a 2-year sentence. Some of these people apparently hadn't even been charged yet, or had been charged, but weren't allowed, again, their day in court. And if you talk to the lawyers who were involved with it, they were incredibly chastised and handicapped by the legal proceedings that were going on in Washington, D.C. So, yeah, I said on the day one, if you cross that line, you are breaking the law, and you need to be prosecuted under the law. But you're comparing the two, and there was not equal. The crimes maybe were equal, but the punishment doled out was definitely not the equal.
Can we agree, though, that the people who went to trial and were convicted of assaulting police officers shouldn't have been pardoned or had their sentences commuted?
I don't know. I don't know the individual cases, but I will tell you this: the ones that happened in Washington, D.C., if you would have punched any other cop under any other situation, you would have been you would have been out by now, and you would have never done the long prison terms that they gave. If they laid a hand on a cop, I have no sympathy for them. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know the individual crimes. I don't know what they're charged with. I don't know the amount of time that they would spend. Again, if they broke the law, they need to be held accountable. But you know as well as I do, in this world, there are two systems of justice. I mean, you went through the Biden family situation and Hunter, and he's not going to do any time. And they took in over $20 million from overseas. They didn't even pay taxes on a lot of it. Heck, they even paid his minor grandchildren. Yet there will be no justice there. And so, yeah, it's not a perfect world. If I had to do it all over again, I would wish that had never happened on January 6th. I was the very last House member to leave the floor. I asked to go before the January 6th commission. They refused to allow me to do that. I couldn't even get the Capitol Police to call me back and the security folks to call me back when I was going to identify who was in the tunnel doing the videos. So, the whole thing was just a political nightmare, and it was a joke played upon the American public. It should have never happened. It should have been called out in the beginning. It should have been stopped. There should have been enough troops up there to stop them. The National Guard should not have been waiting. And there's going to be an investigation of this for the rest of our lives. It'll be just like the Kennedy assassination or anything else. We will never get the true story of everything. We won't know about all the FBI involvement that was there, that we know they were there now. And, it'll never end. Crimes are committed. People need to be convicted.
The report by Michael Horowitz, which you refer to about we know the FBI was there, is actually pretty comprehensive in terms of what happened and what didn't. I would recommend that anyone read it. Let me ask you a final question. Washington Post reporting that an aide, Speaker Johnson, advised against subpoenaing former White House aide Cassidy Hutchinson as part of the January 6th investigation to prevent the release of sexually explicit texts that lawmakers sent her. You know anything about this?
Well, when I heard it on your preview, I hollered out to my wife. I said, honey, you're not going to believe this. And she said, who's the woman? I said, I don't know her. That's the beauty of this. I've got no involvement, and I'm incredibly in love with my wife, and I love my daughter, and I would never be involved in something like that to embarrass them.
I wasn't accusing you.
I promise
to be
you, dude.
Clear.
I preempted you on that one. I called her. I said, honey, I know nothing about this. I don't know this woman. So,
you thought this was a setup, right? That my question to you was going to be, so, Congressman Burchett, my understanding is you were the... No, this was
When did you stop texting this woman?
Exactly. All right. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.